Well, hey guys, Ranger Rooster checking in. Just to tell you about my Sunday. It was amazing. I went to church this morning. I got to fellowship and chat. I was kind of hurting, so I was kind of quiet, but a lot of people still came up to me and recognized me from before. Um, I was supposed to come back at 1 o'clock this afternoon because I had a mechanic that I found on Facebook that's supposed to come over at 1, change my rear brakes, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm just trying to pay it forward. I'm out of work, but I'm trying to help people out because people have helped me." And I was like, "This is what I'm looking for. Uh, I'm gonna figure out a way to repay you, whether it's RV tech work or trading skills. If I can do leather work and help you out, whatever I can do." So I texted him when I was leaving church, headed here. Said, "Hey man, I'll be there at La Posa South right before 1, so let me know when you get there. I'll meet you somewhere so I can follow you in." Well, his vehicle got stolen, his work truck, which means now he has a camper somewhere in La Posa North, way out in the boonies, pretty far in there, and can't move it. Doesn't have power. He went to go get a job, do some work in Parker, which he walked to. It was like 30 miles. Ended up getting arrested, spending the night in jail, and he didn't have a phone because he left it with his wife, so his wife could talk to him. He can get a hold of her. Well, when I called to see where he was at, she told me he was in Parker and that she needs to go because she has 3% left on her battery, and if he calls, she needs to answer, which is accurate. So I was like, well, the least I can do right now to help you guys out is at least come charge all your. They had a bunch of little power banks that were dead, to like charge their phones and uh, tablets and not appliances, devices. So I pulled up and I have an outlet in my truck, so I was charging all her stuff and talking for 20 minutes, 30 minutes while some other guy had pulled up. It was her husband. They got picked up by a guy that has another story, and it was just this amazing. Everybody just kind of was wanting to help, and we ended up all finding each other, and then we just spent probably like an hour over a couple beers and a doobie and some guitar and just kind of hanging out and getting to know each other. And Steve's a really good dude. Seems like a solid mechanic. He's just had some, uh, quite a colorful life. So, but trying to just support his wife and do the best he can. And the other guy, he was a truck driver, but he's, I guess, on his off time, and he's full-time car camping, and he's got like osteoporosis, and he's all messed up, and just wanted to pay it forward, and so he gave the guy a ride like 20 miles, and out of his way. He didn't even want to come to Quartzsite. He was telling, "I'm not going to Quartzsite. I'm not going to Quartzsite." He was headed out, saw Steve walking down the road, pulled over and said, "Hey man, you need a ride?" He said, "Actually, matter of fact, that'd be great." And then we just kind of hit it off. So when I met Tim, the guy who gave Steve a ride, he was like, "Oh, you must be a nice guy. These are your friends. These are supposed to be good people." I was like, "Well, I don't really know him. I just met him." And he's like, "Dude, I just met him too. I just picked him up." I was like, "Dude, he seems like a really good dude." And he's like, "I spent almost an hour in the car with him, and yeah, he's a good guy." Apparently they got lost. It was only a 20-mile ride, but they got lost and were driving all around. The guy was just really friendly and helpful. So so they could use some help with food. He didn't have his own tools or anything, and he didn't have a phone. Well, I can't give him my tools, but I can let him use them. I could take him to jobs and stuff and try to at least support him while he's trying to get work, because I definitely understand that. Like, sometimes I can't even put gas in my truck, and I gotta tell people, "Hey, before I even come out, like, I need $75." just to get my truck running and put me in the truck. Well, I'm going to do what I can to help these people out. I told him, I was like, man, he's like, yeah, my camper needs work. He's like, without a vehicle, this is all really hard, and now we can't even move it, so I think I'm going to help them move. They want to move over here to La Posa South. That way it's easier for them to find someone to help them get a ride into town, so they can do some work, get some groceries. There's also a water point over here, which they don't have at La Posa North. So, and when you got to walk an hour just to get to your from your campsite to the front of the park, he's pretty far out. So, and you can't carry water jugs that far. I mean, it's doable. Not a good time. So I'm going to do what I can to help him out. I hung out for a little bit. I was supposed to go to a jam session at 6:30 at the Gold Star RV Park. They have it every Sunday night. But apparently it doesn't start till the 18th of this month. So I was extremely early and no one was there. But I refused to take no for an answer. I was gonna jam. So I left that RV park and started driving around Quartzsite, which is not very big, but just driving down the strip looking for a bar that might be doing open mic nights or something. Nothing till tomorrow. So I was like, I'm gonna play for somebody. So I ran into a guy I'd run into a couple times since I've been here, for the couple weeks I've been here. He's a homeless guy and a beggar, and you know, him and his wife, his name's he goes by Trash Can, and his wife's name is Little Bit, and they have a little black and white cat that's name is Monster. They have a little wagon that they pull their tent and food and stuff around with, and that's kind of the way they make ends meet. Well, I was thinking, I was driving around to different bars and stuff, and nothing was going on, and I was like, man, I wish I could find Trash Can. And I'm driving by the McDonald's and the gas station, and I see him sitting on the corner with his girl or his wife, and I just started smiling. I was like, Trash Can! I pulled across 4 lanes. I had my guitar on my back on the bike. And he's like, hey man, what's going on? And at first he was kind of like, I was like, hey, how you guys doing? And he just checking on him. It's like the 3rd time I've talked to him. And he's like, you know, man, just trying to live and hanging in there. And you know, I think he was thinking I was going to give him money, and I was like, well, I was looking for a place to play a guitar and couldn't find anyone to play for, so would you guys mind if I sat and played some music? And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, you know, first he's like, hey, I got to eat and like stuff like that. And he's like, you're pulling up on a bike, like you must have money. And I was like, hey man, I know I have a motorcycle. I know you've seen me in a truck, and I've got a camper, but it doesn't mean I'm any better off. Like, I still got to put fuel in that truck. I don't really have any money. And he was like, oh, well, dude, do you smoke weed? And I was like, yeah, I smoke. And he's like, do you have any? I was like, no, I'm out of a lot of things at this moment. And he was like, well, one thing I got a lot of is weed. So he hands me this M&M's thing. Just got a bunch of weed in it. That's almost an 1/8. And then he hands me this little thingy right here that's got what you call a dab, which looks like a big old ball of earwax. I don't even know how to smoke this shit. So there's that. So I play maybe half a set for this homeless guy and his wife and their cat. And, you know, kind of ask him, how you guys feeling? Like, what's going on? You know, inside, trying to feel out what songs, you know, what I need to play. And I was like, you know, I can't, like, I would love to give you everything I have, but I don't have much to give you. But I was like, but what I can do is come spend some time with you and try to brighten your day with some music. And I was like, what would you like to hear? He's like, yeah, man, just something soft, sweet. And I was like, gotcha. And I sang an acoustic version of Sweet Child of Mine. I sang a couple other songs, and he was just crying. And I kind of got to talk to him, and we talked about God a little bit. And he's a believer already. I didn't have to. He knows. He's like, oh yeah, dude. He's like, I'm praying all the time. And he had kind of asked me for some specific prayer for some issues he was having. And a really good dude, though. There are some things you talk to him, you can kind of see, like, there's some construed opinions and stuff about the government, the way the world works. And, he's kind of been on the receiving end of, shit rolling all the way downhill. But good guy, good heart. And to most people that don't understand what it's like to go without stuff, he probably seems totally crazy. But everything he was saying made perfect sense to me. And I cannot believe the willpower of this man. Living next to a busy traffic street, day in, day out, and pulling your little wagon around in the shade. And I'm talking about a wagon, like it's just a wagon you pull by hand. Trying to take care of someone and an animal, and also keep your sanity. And when everybody else is telling you that you're not good enough, and you're really just trying not to lose your cool and end up in jail. Kind of a wily character, but I think he's holding together about as good as anyone would. So anyway, there's that. And so I played some music for him, wished him the best, said, hey, I'm going to go try to find some other place to play and maybe make some money or something. Well, couldn't find a place to play, but I remembered the leather display where I displayed my work, my leather craft at the ice cream shop. She had texted me, hey, you sold something, you got $35 here for you whenever you want to come get it. So I stopped to go get $35, and I was excited because it was like, hey, it's my first sale. All this stuff has been just like looming over my head, and now I finally sold a piece of my art. So I went over, waited. There was like 13 people in line, a big family that was here getting ice cream. So I just kind of sat, had my guitar on my back and everything because I was just riding around. And I just kind of sat quietly for like 10 minutes and waited for them to all get served and leave. And then I talked to the owner, got my money. I was like, I'm here to pick up my first check. And he's like, well, do you want it in a check? I was like, no, I was just being sarcastic. It's just, it's my first sale. So it was exciting. It was $35. And it's like, it's not much, but it was like, it's working. I set something out. I set the trap. I baited it. I waited. I've been patient. And it's sold. I got a Lieutenant Rock Squirrel. So I took $35, walked across the street, bought a little personal pizza. And I really wanted to buy Trash Can and Little Bit and Monster Pizza. But I didn't have enough. I bought myself a mini, which is a personal one. It's like, this big. And that was like $15. So I also got an unsweet tea. So those are kind of expensive. But I didn't have enough to get a pizza big enough for them. So I felt really bad. And I was like, man, I just want to give everything I have. So I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I battled with it, and I prayed about it, and I was like, okay, I really want to give him this, but I don't have anything else other than like this $11. So I ended up getting on the bike and riding back out to the campground, La Posta South. Well, right before you get to the entrance to turn off the highway, at mile marker 102, if you look left, that's where my camper's at. Well, right between the road and my camper, off on the shoulder, there was a rig that was pulled over with his hazards on, and he was walking around with a fuel can. So I pulled my bike over and said, "Hey, how's it going? Everything all right?" He said, not really." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I ran the gas tank, Brandon, bone dry." And I was like, oh, man. I was like, "You have a gas?" It's like, "You got your gas can?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Follow me." And it's dark. It's pitch black. You can't see anything within like 10 feet off the road with his lights on. And I just start walking off into the woods because I know my camper is like 100 meters over there, and I have a 14-gallon gas caddy. So I was going to fill up his gas can, and he's like, "Where are we going?" And I was like, "Well, my camper's right over here on the other side of this wash." And he was kind of like, I was like, "I have a fuel can that I can give you fuel." And he's like, "Well, is it diesel?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't have diesel." And I was like, "But I can throw that can on my bike and be back in like 5 minutes." And he was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, man, let's do that." He's like, "You got Cash App?" He sent me $50 to go get him 5 gallons of diesel. So I went in and came back. He said, "Dude, you're quick." And I was like, "Well," I was like, "I use the big rig diesel pump, so it just filled that thing up quick in like 5 seconds." Put it back on the bike, came out. So he has an external fuel tank, and his regular fuel tank had 2 little fuel valves, the anti-theft thing, so the gas can he had wouldn't pour in that. So he went to pour it into his external one, and then he was going to pump it into his regular one, but he had some kind of issue with his external pump. So he sends me back for a second one and sends me $25 more. So I made $75 riding maybe 8 miles in 20 minutes getting this guy fuel. And he was leaving Quartzsite, so he was on his way out or something, or he was in Dome Rock but coming through Quartzsite or something like that, and on his way out ran out of gas. I don't understand, but I was just stopping to say hi and check on people, and I made $75 in 20 minutes. And all I could think about doing with that $75 is trying to take care of these people that have been like really taking care of me. Good friends, they have good hearts, they really just want to help, but they also need help, and they can't ask for it. It just kind of comes when it comes. And when it's your turn to give, when it's your turn to pay it forward, you damn sure need to pay it forward. And when it's your turn to receive, you need to be humble and be able to receive. And that is a lesson that I'm learning. They're beautiful lessons, but it kind of feels like walking through booby traps sometimes, because it's very easy to be all, "Oh, I'm not fucking helping nobody, I'm so fucking grumpy and angry, and I just want to go home and be by myself." And you do that, and you start closing off, and like you're not walking through doors that are opening for you, and you're not picking up these signs, and you start to just be in this crotchety, crusty world where everything's miserable. But man, just pay a little bit of kindness forward. You got nothing to give. Just give it anyway. And I promise you it'll come back to you. Because this morning, I am $75 richer than I was before. which is crazy because I just made $35. I sold a little pencil holder box that I made out of leather for $35. Not a whole lot, but it's like, oh my god, I sold something cool. And I was like, okay, God, I prayed about it. I was like, you want me, like, if you, I know, like, I'm trying to be responsible. I want to be a businessman. I want to set myself up, but I don't want to do it at the cost of not being a nice guy, like a genuine, caring soul. Like, first thing I wanted to do with it was go buy a pizza and take it to the trash can in a little bit. So I prayed about it, and I was like, oh, I got my pizza. Okay, I'm going to feed myself first and see how much I have left over. I just didn't have enough left over. And then went over here, so now I have money, but it's also like, it's late at night. And I'm like, dude, I really want to just go, like, buy those people food. But also, you can't go out of your way to pay it forward. Well, I mean, within reason, right? Like, I don't just go driving around looking for people. I just kind of mind my own business, do my own thing. And if I happen to cross somebody, I stop and check on them. And if it's something I'm capable of helping with, I'm going to help them. But if that guy were to ask me, like, hey, I need this, this, and that, and it was like a list that I needed to go get that was going to put me, like, way out of my way, and just something I wasn't able to really feasibly do, I would probably be like, well, man, that's really more than I can handle. But if, again, within my capabilities and within reason, yeah, I'm going to help. So anyways, that's my vlog for the day. I've got some stuff to do, so I guess I'll just talk to you guys later. Pay it forward, people. Praise the Lord. Be thankful for what you have. And in your darkest moments, when you don't know how to ask for help and blah, 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 for everything you need, pay it forward to someone else. And you'll be surprised how quickly that comes back, and you're going to find all the help you need without even saying a word. That's the way God works. I think that's the power of Christ and the Holy Spirit. So, yeah, just stay positive, stay close with God, stay in prayer, and pay it forward. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with y'all. This is Ranger Rooster, signing off.